throw my lunch in my knapsack and kiss her quickly. "Goodbye, Myung-Ok. It's your last year here," she says. I look up at her upon hearing my Korean name. To me, it doesn't sound like my name, but to Mom, I think it means something special. Sometimes I think she has so much more to say to me, but it gets lost, partly because of the gap separating Korean and English, and partly because of some other kind of gap that has always existed between me and my parents. On the way to the bus stop, I slipped the container of lychee nuts into a garbage can alongside the road. Wasteful, I know, but I'm always so nervous on the first day of school. All those kids, especially the popular ones. Everyone is at the bus stop, the same faces from last year, and the year before, and the year before that, but my throat still constricts. I wish Jessie lived nearby so she could take the bus with me. 2 of the hockey players, Brad Whitlock and Mike Anderson, are loudly hooting and swaggering as if they own the place. I slip back and try to become invisible. When the bus comes, student bodies swarm around the door like eager bees waiting to get into the hive. I let most of the kids go ahead of me, but as I board, someone shoves me from behind. "Hey, chink, move over." In the back of me is Brad Whitlock, a darkly adult look clouding his face. The sound of his words hangs for a moment in the cramped air of the school bus. Numbly, I look around. Everyone seems to be looking somewhere else. Out the window, at their books, just away. Brad pushes past me to the back of the bus, where he resumes guffawing with his friends. I sit gingerly in the nearest seat, like an old lady afraid of breaking something. I feel so ashamed, and I don't know why. And why Brad Whitlock? The popular guy who had never before even bothered to acknowledge my existence all these years at Arkin High? I keep my eyes fixed on the landscape and concentrate on keeping them dry. As soon as the bus doors open at school, I rush out without looking back. Once I join the tide of people flowing into the brick building, my heartbeat finally starts to settle. Now I feel protected, anonymous. Inside, excited voices unite in a single deafening roar, punctuated by the staccato of slamming locker doors. "Hey, Ellen!" Jessie's voice rises above the din. She will never know how glad I am to see her familiar face. "Hi, Jess," I say, keeping a falsetto of cheerfulness in my voice. "Are you okay?" Jessie's big brown eyes study me closely. Then the pre-final bell rings. "I'm fine, thanks, Jess." I slam our locker door, imagining that Brad Whitlock's fingers are caught in it. Maybe someday I'll stop to really think about it, about what it means to be different. The pre-final bell means that I have 1 minute to get to room 2D, the chemistry classroom. I see my friend Beth sitting in the corner by the window. I also see Tomper Sandel, all muscles under his Arkin High football t-shirt, sitting in the same row. Crossing the room to join Beth, I pass Tomper's desk. "Hi, Ellen," he says, and smiles. Hi, Tomper," I say, trying not to stare. Tomper Sandel? Saying hi to me? "Ahem," says Mr. Borgland, our teacher, as he stands in front of the class. He looks like a cartoon character. His skin is as dark and wrinkled as a dried apple, and his hair, which I'm sure was blonde in his younger years, stands straight and stiff, the color of a Brillo pad, on top of his head. When he tells us to pick lab partners, Beth and I quickly choose each other. Mr. Borgland ushers us all across the hall to the lab room, which has rows of black counters with sinks and weird spigots crusted with powdery precipitates of experiments past. "Chemistry is based on the metric system," Mr. Borgland says to us. "For instance, instead of pounds, we have grams. There are 454 grams to a pound. Familiarize yourselves with the meter sticks, scales, and graduates in your lab kits. Then do the problems I'm handing out." Beth and I dig out the tangled mess of beakers.